Today's video is brought to you by Chuck Norris. Some people wear Superman pajamas, but Superman wears Chuck Norris pajamas. What's up, Nintendo fans? YXBA is back, and I'm ready to mash some more buttons. Tiger uppercut! Shoryuken! At the risk of sounding like someone that I wouldn't want to associate with, sometimes we have a really dishonest media.
But I do hate them, and some of them are such lying, disgusting people. It's true. It's true. It's true.
So recently, a developer at Moon Studios, who is most well known for making Ori and the Blind Forest, a 2D platformer for the Xbox One and PC, took to Neogaf to complain about the sad state of NX dev kits. He said a lot of stuff, mainly that he is disappointed that he doesn't have dev kits yet, but he did state that this is something that is actually quite normal, and it happens with PlayStation and Xbox. But he went on to say that with Nintendo not having any dev kits out there at this point, and probably even wanting to sell it in 2016, I can guarantee that they'll just not have any software support, since nobody can just jumble games together in less than a year. I mean, you can, but it'll be garbage. End quote. This sounds to me like somebody who is just frustrated and he's venting about something that is quite common and happens to independent developers, because let's face the facts here. At any given time, that your dev kits become so widespread that virtually every independent studio has them, you might as well announce the console, because they are going to be leaking out all of the information about how powerful the system is and what the unique features are. For whatever reason, Nintendo is not quite ready to officially come out and reveal that information. So for media outlets everywhere, they have been running stories stating, if the NX comes out this year, it will not have any third-party support. Which is a joke. It's a complete joke. There's a lot of good independent games, a lot of good independent game developers, but he's not talking about whether Square Enix and whether Electronic Arts and whether Ubisoft have development kits. He's talking about independent studios. And if the journalists out there on all these gaming sites, if they actually had any integrity at all, they would have pointed that out very quickly. But no, instead they decided to totally take the sensationalist approach and do no research whatsoever and put no thought whatsoever into what they're stating and just taking this as fact and just throwing it out there. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's no wonder that half of the journalists out there weren't able to figure out that the Wii U was actually an all-new system and not just a attachment for the Wii. One thing that's really clear here is this means really nothing. I think that Nintendo will definitely unveil the console very soon, because they do need to get those dev kits out to the indie developers. But even if they had 0 indie games at launch, it's not going to matter, and it's actually probably not the best time period for independent developers to be releasing their titles on the NX. It will be better to wait until maybe after the launch window, because let's face it, the launch window is going to be stacked. We pretty much know that Zelda NX is coming out at or near launch. We know that Nintendo hasn't been really making a lot of games for the Wii U, so they have, other games in store. And we know also that Dragon Quest XI has basically been confirmed for the NX, and that could easily be a launch title. And if things are going well with their other third parties, you can bet that Ubisoft is going to have several AAA titles available for launch. They typically do that for a Nintendo launch. Sounds like Electronic Arts is contemplating getting on board. It's going to be a very, very crowded window. I see this system coming out, and the first party and major third party support, it's going to have a launch year similar to the Dreamcast. And that's actually saying a very good thing, because the Dreamcast had one amazing year. So I just don't see how this is even a story. And I wish that the media would take a little bit of time to contemplate what they are saying, instead of focusing everything on how to generate the most number of clicks onto their websites. The main takeaway that I'm going to take from this is that, unlike the Wii U, developers, indie developers out there actually want the NX dev kits, and they're getting frustrated, but that's like a good thing. At the beginning of the Wii U life cycle, I didn't hear any indie developers complaining about not getting something that they wanted, because they didn't have a high opinion of Nintendo as an indie developer platform. And I think that's something that Nintendo has worked really hard on with the Wii U, and now we're seeing right out of the gates that indie developers want to jump on board with the machine. This has been Colin Unger, reminding you to keep your thumbs glued to YXBA, and always remember to select Start. If you enjoyed this video, click like and subscribe.